Hey guys, it's Amber here. So, a few months back, I made a video called Top 6 Lesbian Movies and TV Shows. And in that, I tried to narrow it down to a few of the lesbian shows and movies that I thought were worth watching and that I enjoyed. Following up with that, I decided to finally sit down and watch Blue is the Warmest Color. I know everybody loved that movie, but I tried to watch it a couple times and subtitles, man, I can't handle them. So this is the third time I tried to watch it, and might I say, once I got past the first 2 minutes of the movie, the subtitles stopped bothering me. The only reason they bothered me at first, I think, was because they were reading from a book and it was just really hard to follow. Once I got past them reading the book, I was able to sit through the rest of it. Okay, so I'm probably going to have the most unpopular opinion of this movie, but it was not my favorite. I don't know that I would have included it in my top if I had seen it at the time. There were some good points. So, here's the good. Positives for this movie are, number one, the acting. Seriously, I have no idea how the actors and actresses did it, but there was such emotion on their faces. When they cried, it felt like someone was really actually having these deep emotions and crying. And it was messy. It was like there were snotty noses when you were crying, because guess what? When I'm crying, I'm not pretty. We're not sitting here going with a little tear trickle down our faces. You are crying. You're gonna look a mess. And the producer, director, actors, actresses were all not afraid to capture the true look of people. And that goes throughout the whole movie. People were messy, hairs were out of place, but it didn't look sloppy. It looked well done and like it was just truly capturing what people look like on the day-to-day. Another thing I really like is the way they edited the movie. So they made you get the emotions better. There were pauses where there should be long pauses, and in awkward situations it felt awkward. I felt uncomfortable. Same thing with the relationships. There were these cute little awkward moments that really felt awkward. You weren't like, oh, they're so awkward. You were like, oh man, that's awkward. This is really uncomfortable. No one knows what to say. No one knows what to do. And it felt like what real relationships feel like. Oh, back to the fact that it was in another language. I think that really helped me. There was something romantic and poetic, I think, about hearing everything in another language. Even though I was reading it in English to understand it, listening to French and the way the words were pronounced, I don't know, it gave the movie something else that I don't think it would have had for me if it was in English. And obviously, people who speak French are watching it in French, and they understand everything, so that they may lose that aspect of it. But as an American who is not bilingual, I actually really enjoyed that it was in French. I found the movie overall hard to follow at times because it goes apparently into the future when they're grown up, but everyone looks the same beyond the Emma dyeing her hair a different color, but I don't know, it took me a while to pick up on the fact that they were no longer teenagers. Because suddenly they were, living together, and I was really confused because Emma was supposed to be just in high school. And then I realized as I continued watching that was not the case and that they had grown up. And I may have missed something with that because I have a really hard time just sitting and watching a movie, which is what I learned with this movie. That having to sit there and read the whole thing in French, I actually had to pause it and take some breaks because it's a 3-hour movie, and typically during a movie, since I understand it, I'm gonna take out my phone partway through if I get bored, and I'm gonna send a text or do something. But because I'm reading, I have to give it my 100% full attention, which was a struggle. So I did watch it in 3 different parts, 3 different hour parts, so I may have missed it, but that was just my opinion. Okay, into the nitty-gritty. The sex. I have such mixed feelings about the sex scenes. they showed a lot. Warning, they show a lot. There are a lot of sex scenes, and they're long. It is not like a quick little shot of sex. It's like a 5-minute sex scene. It kind of felt like I was watching a porno. And, I mean, not to discriminate, but, like, some of the things they did and the positions they did, I was just like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you choose to be in that position to have sex? They also scissored, which I was a little disappointed in. I mean, I guess some girls can possibly do it, but I don't think it's common. I mean, the sex scenes weren't all bad. They definitely felt passionate. They weren't afraid to give you some less flattering angles and stuff like that, which I like, because sex is not this perfectly neat little thing. I just think some of the positions and the moves they did were not the best. Another thing, okay, I get that the whole look for Adele is that she's kind of sloppy and stuff, but it got a little too real for me. As she's eating and getting, like, there's food around her mouth, or when she's crying and there's snot almost running into her nose, it's distracting from the whole moment in the movie. And just, it's gross. Like, I don't want to see a snot hanging down your face. Maybe a teeny bit of snot when you're crying, but not like a big snot wad about to go in your mouth. Another con is just the length. It's 3 hours. I don't know that movie needed 3 hours. I know that there were some moments that were just drawn out to give you the different feelings and stuff, but it was a little long. I also just wish maybe they'd shine some light on different aspects of Emma and Adele's relationship, because there was a lot of sex and passionate moments, and then Emma doing her paintings and sketches and stuff of Adele, but there wasn't enough relationship. There wasn't enough, I don't know, getting to know you stuff. Like, they had some deep conversation here and there, but it felt very scattered. Their whole relationship felt scattered, and it was very abruptly, like, now we're 3 years later and their relationship's having all these problems, and I wish we could have seen more of that aspect. I don't know, I hate that jump. I hate that they made this big jump in the movie, because for like a decent chunk of it. Like, it's one thing to jump and be like, 5 years later these things happen, so you know what happened after the end or whatever, but like, we miss so much. You miss so much of their relationship, and there's so much more to a lesbian relationship or any relationship than these sex scenes and passionate moments and little clips. I don't know, I wish we saw into it a little bit more in the middle as it was going downhill and such, so it wasn't just like 1 minute they're all over each other having sex all the time, passionate, 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 and then the next they're cold towards each other and then breaking up. Oh, one last thing. Okay, the final complaint. Why did they have to have sex with guys? Why did Adele have to have sex with a guy? Why did she have to cheat on Emma with a guy? Like, I don't know. I just wish we could leave guys. Can't we leave guys out of it for once? Please? They're gay. I mean, I guess it doesn't exclusively say that they're gay, but it seems pretty clear that Adele and Emma are not into guys at all. Because when she does have sex with them, it's this awkward, not passionate. She doesn't seem like she's enjoying it. She doesn't seem like she's enjoying them. Like, from my perspective, it seems pretty clear that they're actually lesbians and that they're not bisexual. And other people may have interpreted it differently. But if they're lesbians, why can't they be fully lesbians? Why do they have to have sex with a guy? Overall, it was a decent capture of a lesbian relationship in a movie. I think it wasn't perfect, but none are. It appeared to be much higher quality, and it had a higher quality plot line than some others. Overall, I give it 3 stars out of 5 on Netflix. If you want to watch the movie, check it out on Netflix. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you guys interpreted it differently. Did you think that Adele was like a full lesbian, or did you think that she was bisexual? How'd you feel about them sex scenes? Anything else that you just interpreted differently? Did I miss the memo about them fast forwarding 3 years? Like, is that just me being stupid? and oblivious, or was that kind of not done the smoothest, not really announced well enough? Let me know what you think down below. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye guys!